The boom in artificial intelligence and machine learning has a clear winner. Consultants specialized in the field of AI, and I mentioned that consulting firms like Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey, and KPMG are currently closing or have closed or even already have results in the order of hundreds of millions of dollars in AI projects. Some focused only on generative AI, others on different types. But anyway, I'll give some examples to get us started. And they mentioned IBM, saying that they already had over $1 billion in sales commitments related to AI. 1 billion from a business that for them will be 20 billion in years. That is, it's 5%. It may not seem like much, but considering the amount of things they do and seeing the growth they're experiencing, well, $1 billion by itself already makes my head spin. But anyway, Accenture reported approximately $300 million in AI-related sales in revenue last year. Boston Consulting Group has 1/5 of its business related to artificial intelligence, and 2 years ago it had zero, very recently. KPMG is the same. A couple of years ago they had practically nothing, and now they are talking about $650 million in the USA. And McKinsey says that approximately 40% of its business may come from topics related to generative AI. I mean, I'm telling you, staggering figures that here in Spain don't sound too far off, but they do give us an idea of what's coming.
If McKinsey says that 40% of the business is already AI, it means that the problem of making presentations has already been solved with AI. There has to be some system that they definitely use to make the presentations. Awesome, like really awesome.
Did you read his book or not?
Yes, indeed. Good. Absolutely very cool. Extremely cool. Definitely cool.
In the article, they somewhat compared what web-related consulting represented in the 90s with making websites and all that to what is happening now. There was a phrase that caught my attention. Let me see. I have it around here. They used to say that CEOs at that time would say, I don't know what a website is or what it can do for my business, but I need it. And that's basically what's happening now. I don't know what generative AI can bring me, what it can offer me, but it doesn't matter. Just tell me what can be done with it and we'll do it. I think that approach definitely needs to be relaxed a bit, but it does give an idea of the hype we've discussed before. And well, it needs to be done thoughtfully, but it can bring a lot of opportunities and good applications.
Totally. What's curious, I think, is that most of the people who are now riding this wave were also part of the previous one because it's already a wave of boomers. So, well, those similarities are definitely very clear.
I have two questions about all of this. The first one would be, well, it seems like there's a very big pie here, and I am wondering if they are covering all the needs and requirements that are necessary to be addressed in this context. And then on the other hand, when McKinsey talks about 40% of our business, I can't even imagine what that entails. What is the exact metric? How do you determine it? Because they talk about generative, because if you say no, projects that we already had with super advanced machine learning of I don't know what, no, and it's generative. The scenario with generative AI today in the current landscape is good or the sensation, and its impact on various sectors is quite significant. What I hear, as well-informed people say, what I get from my sources and such, is the following. It's the most promising technology, but there's uncertainty with this issue of hallucinations, whether guardrails need to be put in place, whether I don't want to impact clients, and so on. This has had a positive effect, which is that now there is much more trust in deep learning projects and more classical AI. It's like, this is already a thing. We have this under control. It doesn't need this. But of course, the generative idea, it's hard for me to see these numbers that McKinsey talks about when there's still a lot of things being done and a lot of money being invested, because now we're in the phase, let's say, of experimentation and exploring how far we can go with the potential it has. And I see quite a bit of justification for making investments there. Of course, for McKinsey to say that 40% of our generative unit business seems crazy. I would like to know what exactly determines that they consider an initiative to be generative AI and what specific criteria they use. If you potentially do a Control F in the document and GNIA appears, is it already considered like that? Or are they really building things or helping to build things that work? I would like to know a bit more about the context of that context.